Like, that's how stringent this group is. This is directly from their standard bearer that they put out. Now, they have approved courting and unapproved courting. They have rules about whether or not and how to get to know each other. They're not supposed to go on any unchaperoned outings. They're not supposed to kiss. They're not supposed to touch. They're not supposed to do excessive like hand holding or talking on the phone or text or communication. They're not supposed to like make the whole thing about themselves. They have to be respectful of everyone involved. And this is what the men are told. Consider this, whatever you did or however you behaved with your current wife and wives while you were courting is what will be expected when you court a potential wife. If you are not respectful and you went beyond the bounds of the courtship, that is what may be imagined you are doing when you are alone in this new relationship. But if your relationship was respectful, then that is what will be anticipated with delight and fond remembrance as you are courting this new woman. So men are basically told to be respectful, don't get the women alone, don't do things like having sex, don't overtouch, remain temple ready, which Robin and Cody did not do. He moved her before they were engaged there. They were kissing, which kisses are supposed to remain for over the altar. And women, you may do the asking first if it is just as correct and proper for you as a woman, young or old, to become interested in a man. You may have watched the way he conducts his life and treats his family and friends, and you desire to know if it is the will of the Lord that you should be in his family, or perhaps the Lord touched your heart, inspired you to consider him. Fast, pray, and follow the steps in asking. As you court, remember to maintain a standard that you would want your husband to hold himself to with his future sister wives. So Robin was not respectful to the women because they were kissing and they were spending time alone and they were doing things that were outside of the rules, which is why Christine was so upset. So here is what Mykelti said about this being improper. And then we'll go back to the rule.
So this story where they like went a little bit deeper into it about the actual moments that happened, I can understand why they didn't talk about that too much, because obviously she was single, he was married, had 3 other wives. It was inappropriate to longingly gaze at another woman and to have these feelings for another woman. It was inappropriate. So I can understand why they didn't, say the specifics about how they first like saw each other.
For the record, this account of what happened was told, but it was told in a different way in the book. Here is what Robin wrote in the book. On Sunday, Reba and I went to church. While we were seated in the service, a man sitting in front of me with shaggy blonde hair caught my eye. The first thing I noticed about him was his eyes, which were ringed with laugh lines. I always love seeing laugh lines because they tell me that someone is happy. I watched him talk with the other members of the congregation. There was something peaceful and comforting about the way he conducted himself. He was smiling and laughing at ease with himself and others. All of a sudden, he looked up and our eyes met. I'm not exaggerating when I say I felt as though I'd been shot through with a bolt of lightning. When this happened, I was stunned, I was embarrassed, and I looked down at my feet. Immediately, I was furious that I had had any sort of response to the stranger. I was determined that no one should break through my hard exterior. And then she said, a month later, I visited Reba again. On the afternoon I was getting ready to leave, she had a group of friends over at her house. While I was standing on her front lawn, packing the kids into the car to head home, the same man I'd locked eyes with in church drove up in a white convertible. There was a woman riding in the passenger seat. The man stopped the car and started talking to my cousin. It was like a party exploded out of the car. He was so dynamic and full of energy. Reba introduced me to Cody Brown and his wife, Mary. So the way that Robin describes it is that she saw him at church. She felt embarrassed that this happened, but then Cody drove by. And when the way that Cody describes it was that he was smitten with her when he saw her at church. And he said it was inappropriate how he was looking at her, maybe because he was ogling her and like being very disgusting in his lustful. These fundamentalist Mormons are repressed, but it's still inappropriate. And then the way it sounds now is that they didn't happen to just see each other. Like Cody had his eyes set on her. He was interested in her drives by, sees her, and stops. It was like he was on the hunt for her, which is, again, inappropriate because he shouldn't be on the hunt for another wife. He shouldn't be on the hunt for anyone. Cody doesn't describe their first meeting in church at all. He doesn't say a word. He sort of takes it up after they met on the lawn. And then there was another meeting where they were at a dance, and they said, when the second to the last song of the night came on, Cody asked me to dance. I was shocked. I remember thinking that Mary must have taken pity on me and made her husband dance with me. I felt like a complete loser, but I let Cody have his pity dance, and I thought it was kind of Mary to send him over.